Hey, it's Patrick, and let's talk about Khrome Werks exhaust. Now, Khrome Werks has been around in the exhaust game for a while, although they have branched out into other accessories like intakes and handlebars and things like that. They've always been a staple in the exhaust game, but here recently I feel like they've kind of had a resurgence with all the performance bagger stuff going on. The performance bagger folks have kind of gravitated to this brand, quite frankly, because it works. Now, we're going to have some options here in our exhaust line, and we're also going to have some options in our finishes. Of course, they have this black color, which is kind of like almost a little bit of a wrinkle black. I wouldn't call it a wrinkle, but it's a nice texture to it. A lot of times with that smooth black finish, if it doesn't have a texture to it, it'll mark up really easily. I like this stuff here because it doesn't leave a lot of marks. Even with the fingers, it stays nice and kind of straight black looking. Of course, they have chrome, and they have a third option in finish that they call Eclipse, which is basically a black chrome. I really like the way it looks. Most people are probably going to gravitate to the standard black and the standard chrome. Now, huge range of fitments here, all the way back to Evos. Evo Sportster, Evo Bagger, all kinds of Evo models, all the way up through current Milwaukee 8 models, Softails, baggers, twin cam guys. Everybody's covered here, which means a wide range of pricing, anywhere from $400 all the way up to $2,000, depending on system and finish. What we're looking at here is basically their flagship system. This is the True Dual system with a set of mufflers available for basically any late model bagger. And while it has that True Dual look, meaning like two separate pipes, one for the front header, one for the rear header, there's actually a crossover in here. And that's where we start getting into the performance aspects of these exhausts. While that True Dual look is what everybody wants and looks really cool, you actually need this crossover in here. Really, no matter if you have a stock bike or a modified bike, that crossover is very important to getting the best kind of mid-range performance out of that. And I really like the way they did that. They kept that clean. The other nice thing is these are stepped headers. You know, it starts with the stock 1 3/4 up here and moves to 1 7/8 and eventually to 2 inch down here before it goes into the muffler. And kind of with any kind of performance, whether it be automotive or motorcycle performance, those stepped headers are really, really important. The other nice thing is we have two different sets of bungs for the O2 sensors. So if you're running the stock narrowband O2 sensors, you can just plug them right in. Or if you're running a wideband setup, the 18 mil widebands, which are on kind of like the more upper echelon performance tuners, you can run those in there as well. There's no messing around. It's all set up for you, ready to go. As we kind of move down here into the mufflers, this is going to be a 4.5 inch muffler with a variety of tip options. This one here is called the Edge tip. Got that nice slash cut billet tip with the Khrome Werks lasered on top there. Like I said, they have a couple of options, but they also have the option of no tip at all, which is a little bit unusual for an exhaust company. But hey, if you don't want a billet tip back there, you can just run it straight off on the end. Inside here, we have a perf core baffle with stainless steel and fiberglass wrapped around it. It is removable, although I do not recommend that. These companies spend a lot of time to get the perfect amount of performance out of these. A lot of the engineering is in the baffle, so if you remove that, you kind of remove that engineering away from the pipe. And it is going to be plenty loud without that. A lot of people pull those baffles out there to make it louder. That's not a good option in my opinion. Keep those in there. Basically what that's removable for is if you want to service that. Over time, if some of that stainless steel or fiberglass packing, you know, kind of burns out of there, you could replace that. Other than that, leave that alone. This thing is going to perform very, very well. So if you're looking for that kind of classic True Dual header and muffler system, but you want the most amount of performance, if you're running cams or big bore, this is going to be the pipe for you. So now we're moving on to more of a performance-oriented pipe. So whether you're looking just to have that performance look, or you're really looking to build that motor and get some performance out of your bike, the 2-in-1 pick here for their late model baggers is a really good option. Construction, very similar, especially up front to the True Dual headers. You have an 1 3/4 pipe hopping up to an 1 7/8 down here, eventually into this 2.5 inch collector. The O2 sensor bungs, same situation there. You can run your stock ones or you can run a wideband set. Most people with this pipe are probably leaning more to the performance side of things. So you're gonna wanna run those widebands up here with those more expensive and expansive tuners. As you move back here, we have this 2.5 inch collector, which moves into a 4.5 inch pipe. A lot of the same tech here, just in a little bit different design. If you see, there's no tip on this one here. I kind of like that look. It's a little bit more bare bones, but you still have those options for those same tips that come On the true dual systems, whether it be a slash cut or the straight off cut with a little bit of engraving on the back, you're going to have the black tip with the Khrome Werks logo on the top available for all of these. This does come in chrome black and the Eclipse color. Man, I really like the satin black color. They did a great job with this. As we move to the back here, this is going to be the 4.5-inch muffler with that same stainless steel perf core with the fiberglass backing wrapped in there. Again, that is removable, but I wouldn't recommend it because the engineering in there is such that it's going to be the best performing pipe with that packing in there. Now, one of the things I like about this pipe is it works really well with big inch engines, where a lot of manufacturers tend to keep the design best for a stock engine. When you start getting into the bigger engines, the 124s, the 128s, the 131s, you can kind of see those performance gains tail off because the pipe isn't built for that. Not the case with this pipe. I would feel perfectly comfortable putting this on a very big engine motorcycle. So if you have a stock bike and you're looking to eventually build that thing up into a monster, this is a good option because it's going to work really well with your stock bike, but as you build that bike, you're going to be able to keep making those performance gains with this pipe. So if you're looking to build a 131-inch fire breather or 133 or 135 or whatever you're going to, this pipe is going to perform really well kind of all along your build. So this is a great starting point. So those of you out there looking for that performance-based pipe to work and build that engine around, this is a great option. So if you're not ready to take that leap into a full system, obviously a muffler is the best way to go. Looking to add a little bit of sound, a little bit of performance, a muffler is the perfect option. So Khrome Werks has, again, a wide range of fitment on mufflers going back into Evos all the way up into the Milwaukee 8 stuff. So what we're looking at here is the 4.5-inch mufflers for late model baggers. This is basically the same style muffler that comes on the full system. You're gonna get that same technology inside with the stainless steel perf core baffle and the fiberglass backing in there. And interestingly enough, on the late model baggers, Khrome Werks is saying 12% increase in torque and a 7% increase in horsepower, which realistically is a pretty big bump considering you're breathing through those really kind of crappy stock head pipes with a big catalytic converter in there. So decent numbers. So you may not get the huge increase, well, you're definitely not going to get the huge increase that you get in a full pipe, but you're going to get a nice little performance bump and you're going to get really, really good sound, which at the end of the day is nice to have. So with the Softail mufflers, it's actually a 3.5-inch body, and something different about the Softail models. When I say Softail, I'm talking Milwaukee 8 Softail here. You get that nice black tip with the laser engraved Khrome Werks logo, but it actually tapers back down, which I really like. It kind of looks like a little bit of a jet engine there, where the 4.5-inch mufflers here are going to come straight out. You're going to get a little more of a taper with the 3.5-inch muffler. Same tech inside this, just a little bit different size baffle in there. Same perf core stainless steel, wrapped in that fiberglass. You're going to get that bump in sound, you get the bump in horsepower. The other thing you get specifically with the Milwaukee 8 Softail is a lot of the Milwaukee 8 Softails have this really heinous heat shield with the mufflers. It looks terrible. If nothing else, you're going to get this thing looking a lot cleaner. Put the muffler on there and get your sound, but it's going to look a lot sharper than having that terrible heat shield on there. Overall, like I say, good investment just if you're looking to get a little bit of sound, a little bit of performance, really clean up the look of your bike. Something to remember though, especially on late model bagger stuff, you have asymmetrical outlets on the stock head pipes, meaning one side is bigger than the other. So when you put mufflers on there, if you plan on going to a full system down the road, you might not be able to switch those over if you're running that asymmetrical setup. So a lot of the performance headers out there go back to standard sizing on either side. So if you have asymmetrical mufflers, and you go with a performance header that has the same size outlets, you'll have to buy mufflers again. So keep that in mind when you're buying an asymmetrical set of mufflers. Other than that, I think this is a great choice. Like I said, if you're looking to pick up some sound, looking to clean up your bike a little bit. If you have more questions, go ahead and hit that info tab on your desktop or mobile device. That's going to take you to the product detail page where you can read other riders' reviews and more specs about everything we've talked about here today. If you're still looking for more information, go ahead and reach out to our customer service team. They would love to talk to you about what works best for you, your riding style, and your budget. I am Patrick. Thank you for watching. Now go work on those motorcycles.